2025 became that rare kind of year where the jewel spoke louder than the protocol. We saw bold debuts, the return of tiaras we had almost forgotten, incredible discoveries, and even events that sent shockwaves through the museum world. Every tiara, brooch, or necklace did more than just sparkle. It unlocked a chapter of history we have been waiting to read for a long time. And to be honest, right until the very end of the year, it remained unclear which appearance would stand out as the ultimate triumph of the season. So please, get comfortable and join me as we open the royal jewelry box of 2025. In this video, we're going to remember the most iconic royal appearances, the hidden details you might have missed, and the historic treasures that finally returned to the light. If there is one phrase to describe Queen Camilla's approach to jewelry in 2025, it might be grand revivals. As the Duchess of Cornwall, she made the honeycomb lattice of the Greville tiara her unmistakable signature. However, since becoming queen, she has boldly explored the collection of the late Elizabeth II, stepping out in the sapphire and Burmese ruby tiaras, and even the legendary Girls of Great Britain and Ireland. But this year, she decided to reach deeper into that vast, mysterious bequest left by Mrs. Greville, and what she found there took my breath away. The moment arrived on November 18th, during the diplomatic reception. For the first time since 2001, this glittering event was held at Windsor Castle, a setting that felt incredibly intimate and historic. But honestly, all eyes were immediately drawn to the emerald fire adorning the Queen. For this occasion, Camilla finally chose the Greville Emerald Kokoshnik. It was a choice that felt less like a simple accessory and more like a major royal event. This masterpiece by Boucheron dates back to 1919, featuring a massive central cabochon emerald that is simply mesmerizing. For nearly a century, it lay in the dark, unseen and unworn by either the Queen Mother or Elizabeth II. We had that one glorious glimpse of it in 2018, when Princess Eugenie brought it out for her wedding. But seeing it now on a queen consort is an entirely different experience. It feels weightier somehow. This is a tiara of immense presence, and seeing it on Camilla confirms that this masterpiece has finally returned to the heart of the royal collection. At that reception, she paired the heavy kokoshnik with her grandmother's diamond serpent necklace, a sentimental choice. But the true emerald renaissance of 2025 wasn't finished yet. Just a few weeks later, during the German state banquet on December 3rd, Camilla gave us the second act of this emerald play, but with a fascinating twist. She wore the Greville Emerald Necklace, the same mystery piece that the late Queen Elizabeth II debuted in 2019. When the late Queen wore it, the necklace was dripping with heavy cabochon emerald pendants. Camilla, however, made a decisive change. She wore the necklace without the drops, leaving them, quite sensibly, in the jewelry cassette. It transformed the piece entirely. What was once a heavy, almost overwhelming Victorian-style showpiece became a lighter, more rhythmic line of square emeralds and diamonds that perfectly suited the neckline of her teal lace gown. And to complete the look, she chose the most iconic silhouette in the royal collection, the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara. Seeing the late Queen's absolute favorite diadem paired with these reimagined emeralds was a masterclass in balancing personal style with dynastic tradition. However, Camilla didn't just dazzle us with grand emeralds this year. She also found room in her selection for distinct treasures that are much smaller, yet house surprisingly rare mechanisms. Leaving the echo of those grand emeralds behind, let's lean in a little closer. Because sometimes the most deafening statements are made in a whisper, and for those of us who savor the details, the real detective work began with two extraordinary brooches. First, let me take you back to a sunny day at Royal Ascot in June. Queen Camilla stepped out in a bright Kelly green ensemble, and pinned on her shoulder was a piece of history that made my heart race, the Cambridge Emerald Cluster brooch. This isn't just a pretty jewel, it's a survivor. These emeralds were famously won in a charity lottery in Frankfurt over 200 years ago by the Duchess of Cambridge. Can you imagine winning royal emeralds in a raffle? Later, they were almost lost to the family when a scandalous bequest left them to a mistress. But Queen Mary, ever the guardian of the vault, bought them back. Seeing Camilla wear this brooch, complete with its pendant drop, which the late Queen Elizabeth often removed, felt like a triumphant full circle. But the real ghost of the season appeared on the final day of Ascot. Amidst the fanfare, Camilla wore what looked at first like a lovely diamond bow. But those of us with a keen eye realized we were looking at the Rothschild diamond watch brooch. This piece was a wedding gift to Queen Mary in 1893 and hadn't been photographed in public since 1936. Think about that. It skipped an entire reign, lying silent in the vaults for nearly 90 years. I find something incredibly touching about this choice. In an age where we all check the time on glowing screens, wearing a watch brooch is a nod to a different era of etiquette, when checking the time was a private, discreet gesture, an elegant secret hidden within the jewel itself. Don't you agree that there is a special charm in jewels that don't just sparkle, but actually serve their mistress? And finally, Camilla brought back one more small but historically significant detail created by Queen Victoria herself, the diamond bar brooch. It made its first quiet appearance of the year at the state banquet for Donald Trump in September. Back then, you might have missed it. Camilla wore it almost out of sight, pinned low at her waist to secure her garter sash. But the Queen clearly appreciated this piece, which was a favorite of the Queen Mother. Since that night, she has given it the spotlight it deserves, moving it up to her shoulder for everyone to see. She has already worn it this way twice more, at the diplomatic reception in November and the German state banquet in December. Commissioned by Victoria in 1838 specifically to secure order ribbons, seeing it back in active service is a wonderful nod to the enduring traditions of the British monarchy. And then, we have the mystery that took 26 years to solve. The setting was the French state banquet at Windsor this past July. The Duchess of Gloucester, who is arguably the unsung heroine of the royal jewelry world, arrived in what looked like her familiar turquoise suite. We know these pieces well. The Tech turquoise tiara and parure were wedding gifts to Queen Mary in 1893, and they have been a staple of the Gloucester ladies for generations. But look closer at her neckline. To complete the look, she brought out something we hadn't seen for over a quarter of a century, Queen Mary's turquoise fringe necklace. The last confirmed sighting of this delicate piece was at the wedding of Prince Edward and Sophie back in 1999. Since then, nothing. Many of us feared it had been dismantled, sold, or simply lost to time. Seeing Birgitte wear it now was a moment of pure joy for historians. It's a reminder that the Duchess is a true custodian of tradition. She knows exactly what she has, and she has the patience to wait decades for the perfect moment to bring it back into the light. From the warm turquoise waters of history, we travel north to the snowy capital of Oslo. In early December, Queen Sonja hosted a gala dinner that was, quite literally, brilliant. But for those of us who track royal genealogy through diamonds, her choice of tiara was a deeply meaningful signal. She wore the Maltese cross tiara. This isn't just a Norwegian jewel, it is a piece of British history frozen in diamonds. Originally, this circlet belonged to Queen Alexandra of the United Kingdom, the great-grandmother of the current King of Norway. It was created as a lighter, more comfortable alternative to the heavy George IV state diadem, and when Alexandra passed away in 1925, she left it to her daughter, Queen Maud, who took it to her new home in Norway. Queen Sonja hasn't worn this piece in public since 2011, so seeing it now feels momentous. She wore it in its full glory, with 3 diamond crosses mounted on the bandeau and a 4th pinned as a brooch. It's a powerful reminder that the North Sea doesn't divide these royal families, it connects them. Every time this tiara shines in Oslo, it is a silent, sparkling hello to their cousins in London. But while Norway offered us a diamond bridge to the past, the South prepared a surprise of its own. From the cool brilliance of the North, we turn to Madrid, where Queen Letizia, a woman usually known for her jewelry restraint, suddenly decided to play her strongest card. But while Norway offered us a diamond bridge to the past, the South prepared a surprise of its own. From the cool brilliance of the North, we turn to Madrid, where Queen Letizia, a woman usually known for her jewelry restraint, suddenly decided to play her strongest card. For the state banquet honoring the German president, she chose a jewel that is a survivor of history, Queen Ina's Cartier pearl and diamond tiara. You might know it as a pearl tiara, but its story is far more dramatic. It began life in 1906 as a wedding gift to Queen Ina, but she famously disliked the original design and had Cartier reimagine it with these elegant laurel scrolls. But here is the detail that touches the heart. This tiara was actually convertible. For special occasions, Queen Ina would replace these pearls with magnificent emeralds inherited from her godmother, the Empress Eugenie of France. Sadly, during the bitter years of exile, Queen Ina was forced to sell those emeralds to fund her family's life and her grandson's wedding. The pearls returned to the setting, and the tiara itself was later bought back by King Juan Carlos from his aunt to keep it in the family. Seeing Letizia wear it today, especially against that black velvet, is just fantastic. It really is a joy to see such a historic piece back where it belongs, being worn by a Queen of Spain again. But if Spain gave us a story of survival, Monaco gave us a moment of pure, unexpected joy. For the National Day Gala in November, Princess Charlene did something she hasn't done since her wedding reception in 2011. She finally brought back her wedding tiara, the diamond foam. This is such a unique piece, designed by Lorenz Balmer specifically for her. It's not a rigid crown, it's an asymmetrical spray of diamonds meant to look like the foam of a crashing wave, a poetic tribute to Charlene's past as an Olympic swimmer and her life in this Mediterranean principality. For 14 years, this tiara remained unseen in public. Seeing it rise again from her hair was a rare, glittering signal that perhaps a new chapter of confidence is beginning in Monaco. But the world of jewels is not only about balls and brilliance. Sometimes, history reminds us just how fragile it truly is. And in October 2025, we received news from Paris that made the heart of every historian skip a beat. It happened on a quiet Sunday morning, October 19th. While tourists were just beginning to line up for their morning coffee, thieves staged a brazen heist at the Louvre. In less than 10 minutes, they broke into the Galerie d'Apollon, the very heart of French royal history, and vanished with treasures we thought were safe forever. We lost the sapphire tiara of Queen Marie Amélie. We lost the emerald necklace of Empress Marie-Louise. And perhaps most heartbreaking of all, the pearl diadem of Empress Eugenie is gone. They did leave one thing behind, dropped in their haste on the pavement outside: the crown of Empress Eugenie. It was recovered but damaged, a bruised survivor of a terrible morning. This tragedy is a stark, painful reminder. We are only custodians of these beautiful things. They survive centuries, revolutions, and wars, yet they can still vanish in the blink of an eye. But if the end of 2025 taught us about loss, the beginning of the year taught us about rebirth. Because months before this tragedy cast a shadow over Paris, a warm golden light had already broken through in the snowy north. In March, during a state visit to Finland, Queen Mary of Denmark did something completely unexpected. For the gala banquet in Helsinki, she ignored the grand diamond tiaras we all know. Instead, she reached back 200 years and brought out a piece that hadn't been seen in public for 140 years. She wore Queen Caroline Amelie's gold tiara. This isn't your typical glittering tiara. It is a slender, neoclassical band of gold, set not with sparkling diamonds, but with 11 colorful carved gemstones: garnets, amethysts, and carnelians. And here is the romance behind it. These stones were personally collected by King Christian VIII during his travels to Italy in the 1820s. He picked them up in Rome, and even at the excavations of Pompeii, bringing them home to be set in gold for his wife. To see Queen Mary wear this humble, scholarly piece for a state banquet was a masterstroke. It was a statement that value isn't just about carats, it's about memory. In a year where we lost so much in Paris, seeing this warm, golden glow from the past return to life felt like a promise. History always finds a way to return to us. In this chapter, we turn from the shadows of history to its brightest future. Because 2025 was not just a year of returns, it was a year of beginnings. And the most poignant one of all bloomed in the gardens of the Danish royal family. In April, to mark her 18th birthday, Princess Isabella of Denmark released her very first gala portraits. For a young princess, the choice of a first tiara is a defining moment. It sets the tone for her future role, and Isabella's choice was nothing short of a love letter to her family. She wore the turquoise daisy bandeau. At first glance, it is a sweet, modest piece, a delicate gold band adorned with 11 turquoise and diamond flowers. But the symbolism here is overwhelming. The flowers are daisies, and Daisy is the cherished nickname of Isabella's grandmother, Queen Margaretha II. But the roots go even deeper. This tiara originally belonged to Princess Margaret of Connaught, Isabella's great-great-grandmother, who was also known as Daisy. It was a confirmation gift to her daughter, Queen Ingrid, in 1926, and has traveled down the female line for a century. Seeing young Isabella wear it now is incredibly touching. It's a visible thread connecting her to 4 generations of royal women. And she paired it with turquoise earrings that once belonged to Catherine the Great, a loan from her mother, Queen Mary, proving that she is ready to carry the weight of this formidable history with lightness and grace. But 2025 wasn't just about looking back. It was a year where history actually turned a page before our eyes. On October 3rd, the Grand Duchy of Luxembourg witnessed the end of an era. Grand Duke Henri signed his abdication, and his son Guillaume became the new Grand Duke. That evening, the palace hosted the first gala of the new reign, and it turned into a veritable masterclass in royal jewelry. All eyes, naturally, were on the new Grand Duchess, Stephanie. What does one wear to step into such a role? Her choice was deeply symbolic: the Belgian scroll tiara. This all-diamond piece was a wedding gift to Guillaume's grandmother, Josephine Charlotte, back in 1953. But here's the detail that gives me goosebumps. 20 years ago, this tiara was almost lost forever. It was slated to be sold at auction, and only a massive public outcry kept it in the family vaults. For years, it was the signature piece of Grand Duchess Maria Theresa. Seeing Stephanie wear it on her very first night as Grand Duchess felt like a powerful statement of survival and continuity. But she wasn't alone. The evening offered us a feast of surprises and a beautiful show of solidarity from the neighboring queens. We saw Princess Claire in the Chaumet Emerald Tiara, a piece usually reserved for the Grand Duchess, signaling perhaps a new era of sharing within the family. And the former Grand Duchess, Maria Theresa, looked regal in the historic Grand Duchess Adelaide Tiara, reminding us that her role has changed, but her majesty remains. The guest list was equally dazzling. Queen Matilda of Belgium paid a touching tribute to the family ties by wearing the 9 provinces tiara in its bandeau setting. Remember, this tiara originally belonged to Queen Astrid, who was the great-grandmother of the new Grand Duke Guillaume. It was a subtle, elegant nod to their shared ancestry. And of course, Queen Maxima of the Netherlands did not hold back. She arrived wearing the Dutch sapphire tiara, not the small one, but the magnificent cathedral-like diadem purchased by King Willem III. Paired with a midnight blue gown and the sapphire bow brooch, she brought exactly the kind of dazzling support a new reign needs. Standing in the wings of this historic evening in Luxembourg was the next generation. It was incredibly moving to see the young heirs of the Benelux countries standing side by side, supporting the new Grand Duke. We saw Princess Elizabeth, the future Queen of Belgium, looking poised in the vesty tiara. But it was her counterpart from the Netherlands, Princess Amalia, who truly proved that 2025 was her year of confidence. For the Luxembourg Accession Gala, Amalia arrived wearing Queen Emma's diamond tiara, an heirloom from 1890, paired with emeralds. She wore it with such ease, looking completely at ease amidst the queens and grand duchesses. Amalia seems to have skipped the awkward phase of tiara wearing entirely. She wears these heavy historical pieces with a frighteningly natural grace. And she proved this even more spectacularly at both ends of the year. We have to rewind briefly to April, to the state banquet for the Sultan of Oman in Amsterdam. This was the moment Amalia signaled she is truly ready for her future role. She walked out wearing the majestic Malario ruby tiara. This is not a starter tiara. It is a grand, three-pronged cathedral of rubies ordered by King Willem III back in 1888. Historically, in the Netherlands, this piece has been reserved almost exclusively for queens: Emma, Juliana, Beatrix, and Maxima. Seeing Amalia wear it at 21 was a powerful visual message. But she wasn't done yet. Just this month, in December, for the state visit from Finland, Amalia gave us one final treat. She debuted the Dutch diamond bandeau. This piece is pure sentiment. It started life as a diamond necklace given to Queen Emma by the Dutch people as a wedding gift in 1879 and holds over 100 carats of diamonds. Seeing Amalia sparkle in this piece, paired with a Jenny Packham gown, felt like the perfect closing chapter to her year. Do you remember her famous words? "Show me a tiara, and I'll know where it came from." In 2025, she showed us that she doesn't just know their history, she is ready to carry their weight. But December wasn't just busy in Amsterdam and London. Across the Baltic Sea, the Swedish royal family was preparing for the most glittering annual marathon in the royal calendar, the Nobel Prize festivities. And the Bernadottes, as always, did not disappoint. They gave us not one, but 2 nights of world-class tiaras. On December 10th, for the main ceremony, Crown Princess Victoria stepped out in a striking white gown with black accents. It was a vintage Jacques Zender dress that her mother, Queen Sylvia, wore to this very banquet back in 1994. To pair with this sentimental gown, Victoria chose her signature Baden fringe tiara. The sharp, diamond rays of the tiara perfectly mirrored the graphic lines of the dress. Queen Sylvia herself was resplendent in Queen Sophia's 9-pronged tiara, pairing it with the family's historic emeralds. And Princess Madeleine? She brought the ice to the winter ball, wearing the spectacular aquamarine kokoshnik. This tiara, a legacy from Margaret of Connaught, is essentially a wall of blue light, perfect for a Swedish princess. But the Swedes know that one night is never enough. The very next evening, for the king's dinner at the royal palace, the ladies opened the vaults again. Queen Sylvia brought out the Napoleonic amethyst parure. You have to remember, these stones were originally a necklace belonging to Empress Josephine of France. Sylvia famously converted the necklace into a tiara because it was too heavy to wear around the neck. Crown Princess Victoria softened her look with the lovely, looped Connaught diamond tiara, but it was Princess Madeleine who wore perhaps the most interesting piece of the night. She chose the Napoleonic cut steel tiara. This is a jewel that has no diamonds at all. It is made of highly polished steel and gold, yet it sparkles with more fire than many diamond pieces. It was lost in the palace attic for decades before being rediscovered, and seeing Madeleine wear it is a reminder that in the world of royalty, sometimes the most precious things aren't made of gemstones, but of craftsmanship and history. From the confidence of youth in the Netherlands to the winter majesty of Sweden, Europe has dazzled us. But the stage is now set for the year's most emotional narrative. Back in Britain, 2025 belonged to the Princess of Wales. For Catherine, 2025 wasn't just another year of engagements. After the health challenges that kept her away for much of the previous year, her return to full duties wasn't just a schedule change, it was a series of moments that the nation and the world had been waiting for. In March, the princess made a significant return to the Commonwealth Day service, an event she had missed the previous year. She appeared in striking red, selecting 2 important family heirlooms for the occasion. She wore the late Queen Elizabeth's 4-row Japanese pearl choker, paired with Diana's Collingwood pearl earrings. It was a dignified, classic combination that visually linked her to the previous generations of royal women. But the moment the whole world held its breath for came in July. The French state banquet at Windsor was her first tiara appearance since her recovery. We all wondered, would she try something new? Or would she seek comfort in the familiar? She chose the latter, and she looked magnificent. Wearing a red gown by Sarah Burton, she completed the look with Queen Mary's Lover's Knot tiara. And honestly, when you see her in it, you understand why she rarely changes it. The swinging pearls, the arches, she looked every inch the future queen. But look at her ears. She paired the tiara with the Greville chandelier earrings. These incredible Cartier diamonds have such a lovely history. They were a wedding gift from the Queen Mother to Princess Elizabeth in 1947. The young Queen Elizabeth II absolutely loved them, wearing them constantly for her most glittering state visits throughout the 1950s and 60s. They are massive, heavy cartouche-style jewels, showcasing a whole encyclopedia of diamond cuts. While they might look overwhelming on some, on Catherine, they always look exquisite. I was so happy to see her choose them again. It was a display of pure, heavy glamour that said she was back in full force. By autumn, her confidence was soaring. In September, for the state banquet for Donald Trump, Catherine essentially stole the show. She wore the lover's knot again, yes, but paired with a shimmering gold lace gown, she looked like a fairy tale princess come to life. There was a radiance about her that evening that transcended the jewelry itself. She held her own on the world stage with a quiet, dazzling dignity. And she kept that momentum going in November at the Royal Variety performance. This was another event she had to miss in 2024, so her return was highly anticipated. Wearing deep green velvet, she brought back those massive Greville chandelier earrings once more. It was a clear signal. The glamour drought is over. We thought we knew her pattern for the year. We were ready for the year to end on this note of beautiful stability. But then came the evening of December 3rd, the state banquet for Germany. When the Princess of Wales appeared in the halls of Windsor Castle, she wasn't wearing pearls. She wasn't wearing the lover's knot. She was wearing a piece of history that made royal watchers around the world gasp. She debuted the Oriental Circlet. To see it now, resting on Catherine's head, was a revelation for jewelry historians. This piece is pure romance, designed by Prince Albert himself for Queen Victoria in 1853. He was deeply inspired by the Indian jewelry presented to Victoria at the Great Exhibition, specifically the elegant Mughal arches and lotus flower motifs, which he incorporated into this delicate design. For decades, this was the signature tiara of the Queen Mother, a piece she wore well into her later years. Since her passing, it has been a sleeping beauty in the vaults, worn publicly only once by Queen Elizabeth II during a visit to Malta in 2005. Seeing it return to the light after 20 years was the perfect closing chapter to a year of royal splendor. For me personally, despite all the other treasures we've seen, this moment stands as the undisputed winner of 2025. It was the most vivid, memorable, and historic return of the year. 2025 reminded us of a beautiful truth. Royal jewelry is not just about carats and gold. It is about patience. The turquoise at the Gloucesters waited 26 years to be seen again. The emerald Kokoshnik waited a century to grace the head of a queen consort, and the Oriental Circlet waited for the right moment to shine once more. I am dying to know, do you agree with my choice? Which jewelry moment of the past year stayed with you the most? I would love to hear which event is your undisputed winner. Please let me know in the comments below. And if this journey through the vaults brought you a little bit of joy today, please like this video and subscribe. There are so many more stories waiting in the dark, and I can't wait to uncover them with you. Until next time!